Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing an example run of Racmon Grotto and a quick guide on how you can do it for your first time. So change the setting really quick. Okay, so to start, there's a couple different enemies inside Racmon Grotto. In this first area we have the Blood Devil Warrior, the Blood Devil Witch Doctor, and the Blood Devil Coolie. The coolies, when they are near a warrior or witch doctor, they will tether to them. When they are tethered, the warrior or witch doctor will take significantly reduced damage. As you see the tether here, if I try and hit the witch doctor, it'll do a very small amount of damage. So the coolies must die first. Once the coolies are dead, it's recommended to kill the witch doctors next, as the witch doctors have two spells that they fight with. The first is a heal, where they will heal the lowest ally. If there are no allies nearby, they will heal themselves. The other one is a black orb that they throw out. If you get hit by it, you will be blinded. I will attempt to show... I'll kill this group first, and then I'll show you with the next set. Depending on what... Yeah, there we go. So that's the blind. So it lasts for 4 seconds. And it's still a little disorientating. Other than that, this first area is pretty simple. You can take it slow if it's your first time. If it's not and you're quite experienced, you can just run straight through and just use a Hydra and you can just pull everything and clear the quest as quick as possible. I don't have a Hydra set up, so I'm going to do this a little more slowly in this example. Each class will do it differently, and depending on what mastery you're using, but it's fairly simple. Just take it at your own pace and play it safe. This first area is pretty harmless as long as you take it slow. The only thing that could cause you some trouble would be the witch doctors if you don't have any, if you have a low amount of damage. Because of the healing, they can just take some time to kill. After you're done with that, you'll be greeted by the first boss. The big blue aura that surrounds him, you cannot enter it. If you go inside of it, you will take very rapid damage, and you will die very quickly. So here's how this fight works. When we engage the boss, he will start doing some attacks. That one you simply dodge, and as for these ones, you jump over them. He has a debuff here, the Blood Devil Rage, which lasts for 30 seconds. When that ends, we'll be able to attack him. Until then, we need to keep dodging and jumping over his attacks. So we've got 10 more seconds here. At the end of his rage phase, he's also going to summon 2 adds. You'll need to kill the adds first before you can damage the boss. So here's the 2 adds. Take them down. Be very careful with these. They do a lot of damage. So make sure you kill them as quickly as possible and keep it a safe distance. Now you'll have 20 seconds whilst he's in fatigue, where you can freely attack him as you wish. He won't move, he won't hit you back. After the 20 seconds is over, however, he will go back into his rage phase. So we have 3 seconds left, so we'll run away. And now he's going to bring back the blue aura, and he's going to start attacking us again. And it will just repeat like that until he dies. Overall, fairly simple, but the hardest part is the adds. The adds, when they first charge at you, the charge itself, if they make contact with you, will do a significant amount of damage. So you just need to be cautious of that. I'll try and give a demonstration here, but I'm on Guardian, so I'm a little bit tankier. So yeah, that initial attack, you see I took 23,000 damage. If you're on a Ranger or even a Mage, it could probably one-shot you. So just be cautious of that. Some people do opt to use a Ironhide to counter it, but as long as you're careful with your spacing, you should be fine. And after, most players can kill it in just 1 phase, but if you have a low amount of damage, it might take 2 or 3. In this next area, we have a couple new mobs. So we have the Blood Devil Hero, which is basically the same as a Blood Devil Warrior, but a little bit stronger, a little bit tankier. And we have the Blood Devil Scout. The Blood Devil Scout is an archer, and it shoots out 3 bolts of attack. If you get too close, it'll do a melee attack which knocks you back. This is what the 3 bolts look like. On the floor, it's very easy to dodge, so you can just sidestep it. Same thing as the first room, it's overall very easy. Make sure you take out the coolies first and then you can walk on the rest. There's no witch doctors in this area, so it's a little bit easier when it comes to how long it takes. Just gotta be careful with these guys when you're getting close because of this knockback. It'll stagger you, it's just a little bit annoying, it can throw you off a little bit. But overall they're quite weak. If anybody would like to see a different point of view, whether it's on Mage or Oracle, just let me know and I can make that for you. So now we're on to the second boss. This boss is probably considered the easiest boss in this dungeon. It's very simple. So, his attacks do quite a heavy amount of physical damage, so as I'm a Guardian I'm not going to take much, but if you're a Mage, you'll take a little bit more. After this attack, he's going to summon 3 pieces of rubble. If you have a high amount of damage, you could ignore these completely. But basically, after, I think it's 1 or 2 minutes, he will come and eat these chunks of rubble, and they will heal him for quite a large amount. So you'll want to kill these if you're lower on damage. This attack here, he stabs that into the ground, just dodge, or just keep moving, and you'll be fine. Most of his attacks are melee attack like this, so you can just roll past them or just step to the side, but they can do quite heavy damage, so just be cautious if you're on a squishier class. So I'll just show a couple more of his attacks, and I'll show him eating the rubble to heal. Most of his basic attacks are very easy to dodge, you probably won't get hit. This is the one where he's going to slam into the floor, and you just want to keep on moving. Just be careful if you're in a larger group, because you could get clipped by someone else's. So now he's going to go and eat the rubble, and that will heal him for quite a lot. He'll eat all of the rubble consecutively. It'll probably be only a few seconds before he goes to eat the next one. Yeah, there we go. So just be careful of that if you're running lower damage. But if you have high damage, you can normally kill him before he goes to eat the rubble. After all the rubble are gone and he has healed, he will summon more rubble. But I don't think you should be in Racmon if you can't kill him before he goes to eat that rubble. So now, in this next section, we have another new mob. That mob is the Blood Devil Captain. Blood Devil Captains are quite scary, especially if you're on a squishier class, so be very cautious. I'll clear out these first, just so I have a clearer view to show you of the Blood Devil Captain. So that's the Blood Devil Captain there, with the dual-wield swords. So his main attack is this one here, the double slash. It'll slash twice and it does heavy damage. This one can simply be moved to the side, but this one does a lot of damage. And it also can crit. If you're on a mage or even an oracle sometimes, if you get unlucky and he crits, you can be one-shot instantly by those attacks. So it's quite a scary mob, especially when you have a lot of other mobs on you. It also consumes a lot of mounted combat stamina if you're mounted. So just be careful you don't get dismounted. In this last part here, there are also white flame beasts. I'll pull just the one here, just to show you what they do. They're fairly simple. If you're in close, so they jump around like this, and if you're in close, you'll get knocked back. But they can be a little buggy. No, they just have a melee attack. They're not too scary by themselves. For these last two, you can actually skip them. If you jump up here, like so, and if you mount or use some form of movement skill, you can just run straight past, and use the dash, and you can get past. I don't think I was quite fast enough, so I pulled one. But normally, if you have like just a dragon, you can mount any sort of running dragon, you'll be fine. these things aren't particularly threatening. This next boss can be quite a bit of a roadblock for some people. It's quite tanky, and he does have a lot of things that can one-shot you, so be very cautious going into this one. So starting off with his basic attack, it's just a simple ground slam. It has a bigger hitbox than it looks, so be very careful with it, and make sure you dodge earlier rather than later. If you're on a squishier class, it will one-shot you, and even on a tankier class, it'll still do heavy damage. After a few seconds, he'll go into this form, his defense shield. Here you need to hit him from behind to break the defense shield. He heals whilst he's in that, and he'll constantly summon more white flame beasts. After it's broken, he's going to go into rolling form, and he's going to roll at you, I think 4 or 5 times. Each time you get hit, you're going to get slowed. And you take increased damage. It's quite rough. So, ideally you want to have an Ironhide that you can mount, but if not, you probably want to have some movement speed. What you can also do is if you bring him over to this little area right here, you can get him trapped in one of these corners, and he won't be able to hit you. So that's what I'd recommend doing if it's your first time in here. I'll get him into the next rolling phase just so I can give you a demonstration of that. That's another one of his attacks, which is the combo. The first attack will blind you, and then the second one is just a normal attack, and it can do heavy damage. So be cautious of that one especially. Make sure you keep your distance or react accordingly. Just wait for him to go into his next rolling phase here. So we go straight into it this time, no defense stance. If you bring him over to this bit right here, you can get him trapped on that little part there. You go over here, and he's just going to roll on the spot. You can summon your dragon, you can heal, and you can just chill for a little bit until it's over. But when he comes out of his rolling form, this happens for both phases, he is going to do his combo attack. So he's going to throw the blind, and he's going to do the basic attack. There's the blind, there's the basic attack. That'll one-shot you on most classes if you get hit by both parts. Just be careful when it comes to the defense stance, because the white flame beasts that spawn, they do keep on spawning until the defense stance is broken. So just make sure you kill the white flame beasts. The next part is only white flame beasts, if you hadn't had enough of them already. This part can be a little bit annoying, just because they're very spread out and they stagger you. They're a little annoying, especially if you're on like a mage and you don't have much anti-CC. And they don't like to group up very well. But take it slow. There is a way you can pull all of them into one spot, but I'm not going to be showing that here. You need a Hydra and you need to be quick. And it's also not possible on Guardian as far as I know. So just take it slow and just cut them down as you go. There's also these lava beasts around. They don't count towards the quest, but they will spit fire at you, and it can deal some damage. If you're on a magic class, it probably won't deal much, but on a physical class, it can deal a decent amount of damage. When you come through here, one thing to note is you do not want to drop down here if you're not ready to fight. Always come over to this corner. If you're preparing, you're getting your dragons out, you need to regen some dragon soul, whatever it may be. Once you drop down here, the boss will spawn. As you can see, it shows his name tag there. So what you can do, if you don't go down there until you're ready to fight, when you do go down there, he's going to spawn, and you have a couple of seconds before he's going to activate, which just gives you a little more time to prepare whilst you're in front of the boss. So he has 2 phases, and rolling in this fight will hurt you, and you get less stamina, so you only get 1 roll. So, in his first phase, he's got just a bunch of basic attacks, nothing too special, you can dodge them quite easily. It's the whip attack, it'll always flash twice, and you jump once, and you'll dodge the first whip attack, and you'll go under the second one. When the scorching barrier comes up, he's going to start spinning and putting these lava puddles everywhere. I'll try and get him to do it one more time just to demonstrate. So that one, it only flashed once, so you can double jump. So here's the scorching barrier. And he's going to just drop all these lava pools, and this will continue until you enter the lava barrier. When you go into it, it'll stop. If you have more than one person in your group, everybody in the group must enter the lava barrier. So I'll teach you more about the whip dodging in just a moment when we get to phase 2. Phase 1 for the most part is quite easy, but you can move around a bit and it can be a little bit annoying, but for the most part it's fairly simple. Once he gets to around 40% HP, he'll transition into phase 2, where he will plant himself in the ground and he will not move anymore. Doesn't look like I'm quite there yet. So now he's in phase 2. In phase 2 he won't move anymore, so you can really just cheese it if you like. You can spend as much time as you want just chilling out here. You can prepare your dragons, buff up, whatever it may be. And you can see that he's still using his whip attacks. He only uses the whip attacks now. To dodge the whip attacks, you can look at how many times the red AoE flashes. If it flashes once, you can double jump over it. And if it flashes twice, you single jump over it. So twice, just one jump. Flashes twice again, just one jump. Really quite simple. Just once that time, so we're going to double jump. And you go straight over it. It gives you a little prompt if you fail it. I'll fail one here for an example. It says, yeah, jump didn't get you anything on that one. And if you fail the other one, it says you need to jump a little bit higher. But once you get into the phase 2, it's really quite easy to kill him from here. It's very chill because he's just going to stay still and you can just take your time beating him down. And especially if you know how to jump over his attacks, it makes it a lot easier. That's a little bugged, but anyway. So the last stretch of this dungeon pretty much has every single mob that we've seen along the way, other than the white flame beasts. So there's a lot of captains, there's a lot of coolies, and there is some witch doctors. So it's one of the harder parts, especially this part here, because there's 2 packs up here, and you can pull them both together, but then you get 2 captains, so it can be a little scary. Just take it slow, 1 pack at a time. Kill the coolies, then the captain. If you pull the witch doctor as well, no worry, just kill that thing first. Because you don't want them healing up the captains especially. But it's pretty much the same thing you've already been doing so far. It's just the captains that are quite scary. They're quite easy to group up though, so if you're on a mage, you can just head over to the witch doctor. I prefer to pull everything to the witch doctor, and then use your double god. So then if the coolies die, your gods can still kill the witch doctor and get that one out of the way as well. Simple as that. This part has a warrior and there's also a hero just around the corner. So here. So you can pull them all, and I like to just take them over to the witch doctor, group them all up, and just kill them all. Same thing you've been doing. Nice and easy. Of course, you might not have as much damage as I do in this demonstration, so just take it slower if you need to. There's no rush, especially on your first time. And just take it easy. This pack here you can just completely skip by just jumping past it. And you can head to this one here, and this will get you the last 5 kills you need to open the final door. So what you can do here, what I like to do, is because there's 2 witch doctors, and they normally spread quite far out, is if you just run back here for a moment, the 2 witch doctors will group nicely on top of each other, and then you can bring all the other guys over to them. And it's just a case of killing them, same as you have been. Now we're on to the last boss. Depending on what class you play, the last boss can be quite a challenge, but it's definitely recommended to have as much healing as you can, whether it be through soul skills or through dragons. In this case, I'm just going to be using a command for it because I don't have any skills on this character. So he only has a few attacks, and they're not too complicated. So he has that one there, which is just a straight strike, and he has this one that stabs the floor. That one stabs the floor, and I'll leave a little lava pool. You don't want to stand in that, because that's going to give you a damage over time debuff. Every now and then, every third attack, he'll spin his staff, and he's going to summon some lava beasts. You'll want to kill these lava beasts, one, because it'll make your life easier, and two, because it'll give you a shield for a mechanic that shows up later. As for the fire energy and the lava armor in the top, you can pretty much ignore it. It's not really a big deal. Same with the pop-up, with the burn status. You can kind of just ignore it. Things play out the same regardless. So mainly just take it easy, and because of the way this attack works, so this is his phase change, and he's going to do that big AoE. You'll get one shot unless you have the shield from the lava beasts. So make sure you stay on top of killing them. As long as you keep on killing them, it's quite manageable as a fight, but it's definitely recommended to have some healing, because every time you hit him, you will be taking some damage in return. The way you can bypass this if you're on a magic class, or possibly even a ranger, is by mounting. If you are mounted, you will not take the return damage. So you can double god, you can mount, and you're not going to take any damage from that, which is quite convenient. If you're in a dire situation and there's no lava beasts around, if you're playing duo and your teammates killed them all, then you can mount a dragon. If you have will to live, then you're absolutely fine. If you don't, then it will kill your dragon, but you'll live at the very least. So that's it for RG Solo. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you do plan on doing this solo, make sure you have someone else in your group when you go to do it. Even if they're not joining you in the dungeon, have them in your group, otherwise you won't be able to invite them to loot. These are the orbs that you can loot after you finish, and they'll give you Blood Devil Hearts to help you finish off your 105 set. Thanks for watching.